Hi YouTube, Tej here with Simple Life with Tej. Thanks for joining me. Tonight I was cooking onion burgers. This is actually a hamburger mixed with Lipton. I used the beef onion soup mix. I did 3 pounds of 80/20 meat, ground beef, and 3 packages of beef onion soup, 3 of those. Mixed it by hand, and I mixed it for quite a while. I mixed it like for 5 minutes straight, so to make sure it got in pretty well. On the onions out here, I made them pretty big. Um, you can tell they're not that small, but I have butter, but it's not real butter because one of our people cannot have milk. So I used her type of butter. It's actually just a processed butter, but it's kind of like soy free, all that stuff. It's actually better than actually the other margarines and stuff. So I took the butter and I mixed in a teaspoon of thyme and mixed that up, and then brought it out to the grill, fired it up, put it in, and that's what I'm sauteing the onions in. And I'm actually trying to caramelize these two as well. And you'll see me actually taking some onions out once they're cooked and making room for the hamburgers. So the hamburgers do shrink down. Since I did use an 80/20, the more fat you have, obviously, the more shrinkage you have. So you could use a less fat content. They're just not going to be as juicy, obviously. The more fat you have in it is better. But if you are going to do that, you can always just account for it and say, well, I want a bigger hamburger. I can use a bigger patty and stuff like that. So you'll see how big my patties are. I'll take some of these onions out to make room. And then once I'm making my patties, I can actually fit 4 of them in the pan. Then what I did was I was cooking and I was putting onions on top of it. And yeah, you would think, oh, this is too many onions and too much onions. I am a person that is okay with onions. I mean, I'm okay with not having them or with having them. So I'm not just a onion snob. But these actually were really, really good. That wasn't in your face. It just added a lot of flavor. And I think probably because the older we get, the less we have taste buds. So we just want a little bit more flavor. So as this was cooking, I had the onions in there. You can actually see what I left in there. And actually, I'm going to be putting my meat in here in just a second. But once it got cooked, and I would actually switch out the onions. So I didn't want to actually totally burn any of the onions. So that's what I was kind of doing here a little bit. But I think I cooked it for maybe, I want to say maybe 10 minutes, maybe even less. I did have a problem with the wind. You can actually see the fire. The wind, we had really high winds that day. So um, it went out once. But other than that, I didn't have any other problems with it. So I did cover my meat so that it was cooking through. You can tell they're thick, but they're not they're small. I actually ended up cooking, I think, a total of 12 hamburgers out of 3 pounds. But you can see at 4 at a time. And it does cook down a little bit more. So if you just want a bigger hamburger and stuff like that, just add more meat. But these hamburgers actually were really juicy and they had a lot of flavor and not overpowering with onions, but they actually tasted really, really good. So everybody in the family is like, you're going to have to make these all the time now. We don't want the other hamburgers. Well, I kind of agree. So I want you guys to try this and see what you think. And please give this video a thumbs up and let me know if you tried it and what you think about it. Cook it in the oven or cook it on your stove, cook it outside on the grill. Let me know. I would really enjoy to see that and think about, let me know if you like them or not. Other hamburgers would be actually interesting too. I mean, I like a good mushroom burger too, but this was actually pretty good. Maybe add mushrooms to it with it. But the onions, I think, just are adding too much, a lot of flavor, and the soup in there. It just embeds itself in there, and it's just wonderful. I think you would really, really enjoy it. We didn't even need a side, but obviously, if you have a bunch of people or men around, they could eat like two or three. Just fair warning. And you can either do an onion roll, or I'm sorry, a onion hamburger bun. I just did regular buns because if you're like us, you go to the store, there's a limit on what you can get. So just kind of keep that in mind too once you're cooking stuff. So you can tell I was putting onions on top of it as I was cooking, letting the bottom cooked, and then I would actually, once I got to this point, put the lid on too, just to make sure they're cooked all the way through, and switch out the onions too as well. So also while you're cooking, if you're doing this outside and you're on a patio or anything, just be aware that it does splatter, and you're gonna have to clean your patio afterward. Just so you know, okay? You can actually see all the grease on this. So here's the end result. Oh my god, it's so delicious. So I want you guys to enjoy. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and hey, leave comments below. Let me know what you think, if you've tried it or what you think about it, okay? Enjoy, guys. Hope you like the video. Thanks.